even elementary school, and we stand before a community of kids so that they can see someone that looks like them. They can look in the mirror and understand that it is possible they too can be cybersecurity practitioners. Truth be told, I think I was probably at the age of 28 before I owned my first computer. And, so the reality is, when I was coming up going through school, I had no idea. I had never heard the term cybersecurity, had no idea what it was, had no interest in it. But as the fine gentleman stated a moment ago, it's a pretty lucrative field. Salaries aren't bad, so I'm glad I figured out what it was and I got into the field. So after that, we're attempting to introduce kids into the STEM curriculum and encourage them to pursue a college degree in STEM with an emphasis on cybersecurity. All right, as a part of that, in our existence of 2014, for approximately 3 years that we've held an annual conference, we've awarded over $100,000 in scholarships. And what we're doing there is these scholarships take the form of academic scholarships as well as certifications for those that may be pursuing CISSP, Security Plus, or whatever the certifications may be. Aside from scholarships, we're also having curriculums being developed where we're working on workforce development, diverse workforce development. So it's an important distinction there, being diverse. And finally, mentoring and protege programs where we look to pair entry-level practitioners or even seasoned practitioners with a mentor or a partner or a coach. Believe it or not, we're never too old nor too seasoned in the industry to not have a need for a coach or a trusted advisor. So you'll hear me talk a little bit later in some of the suggested guidance or career advice I'll offer, if you want to call it that. But one of the important takeaways from that will indeed be a mentor, a coach, a partner, and a trusted advisor. So that's who we are, and I highly encourage you guys to look us up, www.icmcp.org. It's a tongue twister. I even get the acronym wrong myself sometimes. But I think it's a worthwhile benefit to you, I would hope, if you contribute to the organization by being a member, offering your thoughts and your opinions. Now, for the purpose of why we're all here to celebrate these young individuals over here, I thought it best I didn't have an opportunity to speak with any of you prior to, nor meet you prior to really understand what was on your mind, what were some of the pressing questions you might have had. So rather than me sitting in a vacuum and coming up with things to talk about that would not be of interest or appealing, I reached out to a few trusted colleagues, very influential individuals in industry, 2 CEOs of their own company, multiple companies. One just sold for a few $1 billion. One of the highest ranking chief information security officers in the federal government, a colleague of mine, Devin Bryan, who works for the Federal Reserve, high ranking and highly paid for the Federal Reserve, by the way, along with another CISO from healthcare industry. And I asked them, what are the important attributes for an entry-level practitioner or a seasoned practitioner coming into your workforce? How can they excel? How can they succeed in the career field? And I got all kinds of ideas, but again, I boiled them down to a common theme of thinking differently. All right, the first item that I'll talk about is building your network. So there were a couple of discussions on the subject of building your network. One, you're highly encouraged to practice your craft. Know your trade, know your craft, be an expert at it. Build a lab environment in your home if you possibly can. Not everyone can go out and afford a massive router, telecom router, to put in your basement, but take an operating system and put various virtual images on it so that you can expose yourself to other technologies and other platforms, right? So that's number one. But when we talk about building out networks, I want to expand upon that. There's a different type of network that's even more important. Your network of resources and people. All right, the connections that you make can be a real difference in your journey as you progress throughout your career. All right, hopefully everyone already has a LinkedIn profile, right? So if not, I would highly encourage one. I know some of us are not a big fan of social media, but the relationships are something you can lean on when times are tough. You need advice, whatever the case may be. I I would highly encourage you to consider it. Build your network of people that you can rely upon, people that you can call upon. All right? And for the younger generation that may not already be out there in the workforce, just a word of caution. That LinkedIn profile, that Facebook profile, that Instagram profile, it can affect your job opportunities. So word of caution there, be very aware of what we put out there. All right? The second item that I want to talk about is embracing challenges. All right? Consider your challenges to be opportunities. The one thing that I encourage you to attempt to do is step outside of your comfort zone. Have you guys ever heard the saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you should get out that room, go to another room, or you're in the wrong room? All right? So some of you guys may already be or will be in your very near future CEOs or director level where you're leading large teams. The best thing that you can do is surround yourself with the right people. People that are smarter than you, people that don't necessarily look like you or necessarily think like you, but they can offer you a diverse opinion. All right? So get outside your comfort zone and deal with and interact with people that may not look like you or have the same mindset as you. But also, building upon challenges as opportunities, I do want to highlight the importance of whatever your skill may be today, look to go beyond that skill and explore other opportunities. I'll tell you firsthand, I consider myself a technical individual where I like to roll up my sleeves and I like to configure things. All right? I'm really incident response is what I do day in and day out for my full-time job. And I've always said the worst thing I can do in the world is have to go and write policy or to do project management, things of that nature, because it deals with a lot of paper. But I will say this. It probably was one of the greatest contributions to my career that I've experienced based on the exposure and the insights that it gave me. It made me think about the business processes and enterprise processes differently than I had previously. So with that being said, I encourage you to seek opportunities to step outside of your comfort zone and pursue additional challenges that can only help you to grow and develop. The third item that I have is, again, I mentioned earlier on, find yourself a mentor or a coach. Again, I want to reiterate the importance of that because, and as it relates to a mentor, it doesn't have to be an individual that works with you. It could very well be an individual that you just know outside of your organization, in your church, in the ministries, or even a friend in the neighborhood. Someone that you can rely upon for wise counsel and advice. All right, so do be mindful of that, and mentors come in all flavors and shapes. So, the fourth and final item that I'll share with you guys, again, going back to think differently. Find innovative ways to be an enabler. Far too often, if you guys are already in industry, as a business consumer of security, you probably asked for a product and been told no. For you guys that are in the security industry, do we routinely say no? If we don't allow you to do it or implement it, then it's less risk for the enterprise, less things that we have to respond to and worry about resolving. All right? So far too often we say no. But I'm here to tell you that I think that's absolutely the wrong answer. So I challenge you to find a way when you're interacting with your customers as a security practitioner. I think the little one is really enjoying my speech. Again, when you're interacting with your customer, I encourage you to find a way to not just say no, even if it's a yes, but. The fact is, studies have shown that anything except for yes is a no. So even when you say yes, but, it's still a no to that customer. So what you need to do is find a way to be innovative. Think outside the box. Think differently about the problem. Find a way to be an enabler to your customer. They will forever be grateful and indebted to you for the service that you provided as an enabler to their business process. And in closing, the one additional quote that I'd like to offer up, going back to my nonprofit, I think I told you guys, I'm a federal government employee myself, and I go to work every day from 9 to 5 for the purpose of feeding my family, but I'm a co-founder of the International Consortium for Minority Cybersecurity Professionals, and I volunteer with that organization for the purpose of feeding my soul. So with that being said, I will encourage you guys to, as you progress through your journey in your career, to not forget those that contribute to your development and help you along the path. Give back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You started on by saying you can't speak and then you're like, wow. You did very well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we had Carlos underscore some very, very important points. We're not going to let our scholars go out and not have anywhere to, start off with like a niche. And that's why in this room we have reps from cybersecurity, IT groups of people who look like us coming together and saying, hey, we're here, we can support. Don't feel alone, don't feel left out. I'm going to ask if those people are in the room to stand. The people in the community who are welcoming all these new folks. Dr. Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. And so when our people graduate, they will be at the other end waiting to welcome them. Would you turn around so we can all thank you? Isaac, can we have like music for about 2 minutes? We're asking family, if you're one of us who has a master's degree and would like to shake your hand, we have to call people at the stage. Thank you. Put your hands together for her. Thank you for bringing her to the stage. And the one and only. We ask Brother Malon to join them on the stage.
ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to be able to call these names. If I make a mistake in pronouncing the name, just forgive me. You know, African names. Please welcome Miss Sylvie Nafomda. Please welcome Solomon Atud Bakwa. Please welcome Peter Woodall. Please welcome Pius Volker Alem. Please put your hands together for Miss Mambo Bongui Awasu. Please welcome Miss Vivian and Danley Elimbi. Put your hands together for her. Please put your hands together for Miss Gladys Eno. Please put your hands together for Dr. Evaristus Inonji. Please put your hands together for Miss Daphne Monique Destiny. Please put your hands together for Miss Comfort Go Beckley. Give it up for Miss Celine Aquidum. And last but not the least, I have the honor of introducing Miss Adeline Aquin Sings. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand up and with a thunderous applause, greet the new graduates. And if you hear, oh,
so, thank you. Prof, please put your hands together for our MC. Thank you for our instant faculty. You all did very well. And now you can swing it from one end to the other. Swing it. Swing it, and if you want to do your heart celebration, you can do it, the clap thing. You ready? 1, 2, 3. We'll need 4 more for people to go. 4, 5, 6, and go!
I would like to invite Pastor Chia to give the benediction. Please put your hands together for him.
Before the benediction, I understand that the students have a card to present to the professor. So I would ask that the student representative should come up and present the card now. But before that, as she comes up, I want to say something before. As you see, graduates, my brother from New York just mentioned that it takes $2,500 for. This was a free class. Wow. So if you count the number of graduates and maybe count the number of hours that the professor put in and invest those hours in each single individual, you see we couldn't pay her for anything. Amen? We couldn't pay her. So I'm going to ask the ushers to bring a basket and put over here. Want to take an offering to support this ministry, to support this institution. Amen? Hello? Are we ready to support this? We want to see another class graduate, don't we? Okay, let's get, ushers, please bring the offering basket.
While the ushers are getting the offering basket, I will ask all the graduates to go back and get what you're supposed to get and come meet me up here, please. And we'll call on Dr. Professor Edwan here. She does not like to be put on the spot, but we have to do it. You have done so much for us. As honestly said, this is something that if we had to go out, would have paid lots of money, lots and lots of money and time to gather resources to get this done. But she took her time and put it for something like this for the sake of our church, the members of our church Omega. So we are standing here just to give her a token of appreciation, just to thank her for the time that she took, the knowledge that she put in us, for all that we have learned. And we want to tell you that we were so hard with what we've gotten. We will not let you down. She's the best professor ever. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you. Graduates, come up. Hurry up, graduates. I can't do this by myself. We're all together. Bear with us, please, as we present this to her. She doesn't like so you put her on the spot, and she likes to put people on the spot, so this is her turn. As you come up, each one of you just give her a hug and tell her in your own way that you love her. Thank you. As we gather some things around, she was not ready for this, so we just want to say, thank you so much. We thank God for you. She's been a faithful member. She's been a friend to my sister when I was a little girl, and my family. She's my big sister, as I call her. I don't think this for granted, neither do any of us, do we? We thank God and bless. We agreed that there would be no food. So I'm gonna have you all come to class again. All right. May I invite the front line to come and join me here, please?
When she graduated in Copperstone, we were not able to celebrate her graduation, and she did not want anything. That's how she is. But we could not let all of this go, so we're going to give her, this is her graduation cake, and it was designed for her. So even as she gives, we decided that we're going to use this opportunity as we initiate her school and what God has caused her to do. We also want to celebrate her doctorate degree from Copperstone University. So we are going, as the students will step back behind, and she's going to take a picture with this cake by herself, and then we'll come in the pictures as she wants us to be. So turn it around, so that's right. Yes, and we are going to do this real quick because we have a short time here. So can graduates, can we move away? So she takes a picture with the cake by herself, real quick. Real quick, photographer, can you do that? Let's step away, please.
As you cut that cake, we want to acknowledge and confess in your life that this food